Canto 3, Chapter 4 today. We are going to start, and it's a new chapter. The chapter name is called Vidura Approaches Maitreya. So this is a story about Sri Krishna and Maitreya. Now there is something which we have to know about Maitreya Muni and Sri Krishna. It is that Sri Krishna had promised Maitreya Muni that he is going to meet him before he passes off. And he has to keep his word. So naturally you will find that Maitreya Muni has to come over there so that he can meet Sri Krishna. So we are going to understand this. Now the background of the story, just to give you an understanding of what happened in the last week, you will find that Vidura has gone all over India. And he meets the dearest friend of Sri Krishna, Uddhava. Now he meets him on the bank of the river and asks him in detail about how everybody is. Remember, Vidura has gone away before the start of that entire episode of war. Alright, because he's been thrown out. Duryodhan and Karna and Shakuni and all his brothers have been very rude to him and asked him to get out. So Vidura had gone away from there. And he has come back to meet Uddhava. While he is on his journey, he meets Uddhava. So when he meets Uddhava, he asks him in detail how everybody is. Finally, he comes to know that most of the people that he had asked about are quite fine and all that. But Sri Krishna is literally at his deathbed. And Uddhava has been given the instructions to go on his own journey by Sri Krishna himself. So now he is talking about how Sri Krishna passed away. And while he was passing away in Prabhasa, a lot of things have happened. The entire family members and the Yaduvansh people have drunk themselves and they have fought with each other, and there are lots of problems there on the banks of the Prabhasa. And most of them are dying or they are dead. So this is where we had stopped. So now today we will start from chapter 4. So let us see what the chapter says. So we are doing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 4, Vidura approaches Maitreya. Thereafter, all of them, that is the descendants of the Vrishni and the Bhoja, being permitted by the Brahmanas, partook of the remnants of the prasada and also drank liquor made of rice. By drinking, they all became delirious and bereft of knowledge. They touched the cores of each other's heart with harsh words. Now this is something which we are not expecting people to do, isn't it? I mean, think about it. The descendants of Vrishni and the Bhoja tribe, that is basically these are two big, clans. And what are they doing? They are eating whatever that these sages had come over there. They have offered the meal to the sages. Remember this. In Prabhasa, all these people from the Bhoja and the Vrishni, clans, they had welcomed the sages and they have offered them the meal, and whatever was left behind is called the prasada, and they have consumed the prasada, and along with it they had taken intoxicating liquids, which is basically wine, stuff like that, and liquor made of rice. It's a very, very high intoxicant. Now when they were drinking this rice liquor, they became very delirious. So imagine literally everybody from Sri Krishna's clan is drinking, sitting on the banks of this Prabhasa, and they are drinking with each other. And this makes them very delirious. They are not able to understand anything. And this is a deliberate action. We will come to know how the action is deliberate in the next verses that are going to come. So please understand how Sri Krishna is working over here. So they touch the cores of each other hard with harsh words. This is something which we normally end up doing. What is it that we do? When we lose control of the mind and the body. Here the mind and the body is lost control. How? By drinking liquor. Human beings, when they indulge in any kind of activity like liquor or gambling or any of the shadripus that is there, they end up fighting with each other. You know, when you lose money in, say, a game, you know, when you are betted, there is a fight. One of the greatest examples is Mahabharata, isn't it? Mahabharata is one of the greatest examples that you can get. Similarly, we are thinking that today our world is bad. You know, our world is so terrible, where people are doing all kinds of wrong things. Look at what is written over here. Even 5 or 10,000 years ago, God knows how many years ago we are talking about. The people were the same. Their job was the same. All the men, they were used to drinking and lascivious activities. You remember, there are women also over there. Correct? We have heard it in one of the verses over here. And after offering prayers and giving meal to Brahmanas, they are indulging in all the wrongful activities. Human beings are so beautifully petty, you know. They want to go and destroy their own life. And their same thing is valid even today. Has it changed? No. Nothing has changed even today. If those people were so bad that time, that means even 5,000 years ago or even during the Dwapar Yuga, in Kali Yuga it is worst, isn't it? So how does this work? This is very bad. And by the friction of bamboo, destruction takes place. So also as the sunset, by the interaction of the faults of intoxication, all their minds became unbalanced and destruction took place. Now I hope you understand. When your mind is unbalanced, which means what? That when you are not in a position to think straight, all kinds of wrong words will escape from your mouth. The previous words say so. See, they touch the cores of each other's hearts with harsh words. The words that come out of the mouth of a person are very, very harsh. And when they say these words, it hurts each other. And because of intoxication, because of drinking, because of doing all these kind of wrongful activities, their minds became unbalanced and they started destroying each other. At that time, no sense prevails. They are completely taken over by their mind. And this is how it works. Verse 3. Sri Krishna, after foreseeing the end of his family by his internal potency, went to the bank of the river Saraswati, sipped water and sat down underneath a tree. Now I want you to think about it. Sri Krishna is over there. He is seeing all his kith and kin drinking away to glory. Human beings, you know, when we say that, okay, all his sons and grandsons and everybody did that. His brothers and everybody did that. They do not accept these words. They think that no, that is God Almighty. He is not going to do. We are not talking about Krishna over here. We are talking about every other person. Because all of them are going to die, remember this. Okay, so they have killed each other. And Sri Krishna already knew about it because this was pre-planned. Remember the curse given by the Brahmanas? That everybody is going to kill each other. And the whole, Yaduvansh is going to get destroyed. This was very clearly mentioned. And Sri Krishna knew this entire thing in the beginning itself. He knew about it. So what does he do? He withdraws himself. I want you to understand this. Sri Krishna is not at all getting involved in the fight. This world is driven by his power alone. And that is Maya. When you succumb to Maya, when an individual succumbs to Maya and gets trapped in the material world, he has to come back again and again and again and again. This has to be understood by you. What we have to know is Sri Krishna gives the opportunity to everyone over there. Don't fall for it. Think about it. Vidur is not there. Uddhava is not there. So you also ensure that you are not around to get involved in karmic action of other people. Please don't get involved in the karma of other people. See, this is a very, very strange thing. I normally don't explain karma in detail, but today I will just give you a glimpse of the karma. Now let us say, here you will find that the brother is there, his son is there, his grandson is there, there are sons and grandsons over there. What are these people doing? They are arguing with each other. All problems start with an argument. Got it? When the argument continues, you get involved in the argument. That means A and B are both involved in the argument. C joins in the middle, D joins in the middle, and they take sides. When they take sides, they become part of a collective karma. This karma is extremely dangerous. Please note that. And when they take part in the collective karma, they are also going to be reborn again. So it is better to withdraw from the scene. Withdraw from the scene. When you see 2 people, 3 people fighting, it is you who wants to get inside the middle and try to stop the fight, isn't it? Are you understanding what I'm saying? When you try to stop a fight, or when you try to negotiate, or when you try to do something, the other person may not listen to you. They may, and finally you have to take a side. And when you take a side, you are going to be the one who is always going to get trapped in this. Sri Krishna knows this value of the karmic debt. So what does he do? He withdraws himself. He doesn't get involved in the process. Some people have this great idea, why does God not want to stop this kind of an action? The word that he uses over here is called self-control. Are you understanding? If you do not exercise your self-control, you are going to get trapped in the material world. You have to learn to shut up. You have to learn to keep quiet. You have to learn not to interfere in other people's karma. Don't interfere in other people's karma. Because the more you interfere in other people's karma, you are going to be in debt and you are going to have enemies. Look at how it has played out where India and Pakistan were at war. In this last so many months ago, when the great, that thing happened, Pulwama thing happened. When Pulwama happened, there were countries which were taking side of Pakistan. Okay. Now these countries are like, one of them is Turkey. Turkey supplied ammunition and other things to Pakistan. They interfered in somebody else's war. And today, India is literally on the verge of not having any relations with Turkey. This is something which we should never do. If spiritual India is there, it should not get involved in other things. Alright? And that is why we all should stay out of this kind of trouble. So Sri Krishna, who is the master of destiny, who is the master of knowing everything, himself withdraws and does not get involved in the action. And when other people are drinking over there, he doesn't involve himself anywhere in the picture. Sri Krishna, after foreseeing the end of his family by his internal potency, went to the bank of river Saraswati. He could see everything is going to get destroyed. And he never interfered, because human beings should never interfere in the life of other people, in the destiny of another person. Please understand this. The Lord is the vanquisher of the distresses of one who is surrendered unto him. Thus he who desired to destroy his family told me previously to go to Badrika Ashrama. Yet in spite of my knowing his desire to destroy the dynasty, O Vidura, I followed him because it was impossible for me to bear separation from the lotus feet of the master. So here Uddhava is talking to Vidura. And he is telling him how this thing happened. The war which happened was observed also by Uddhava. And when he came to know about the distress of Sri Krishna, he who desired to destroy his family told me previously to go to Badrika Ashram. So Sri Krishna met Uddhava before the start of this Prabhasa episode. So what happened was, when Sri Krishna was telling everybody to go to Prabhasa for a kind of an outing, already it was known that that is the end of the entire race that is going to happen over there. So Sri Krishna calls Uddhava, and Uddhava then tells him, can you give me your last words, your spiritual knowledge to me? So Sri Krishna gives Uddhava the spiritual knowledge and gives him an instruction. What is the instruction? The instruction is, don't stay over here. I want you to leave from here and travel to Badrika Ashram. Badrika Ashram is in the Himalayas. So don't stay here, go away to Badrika Ashram. Yet in spite of my knowing his desire to destroy the dynasty, I followed him because it was impossible for me to bear separation from the lotus feet of the master. And the thing which he does wrong, Uddhava, he says, I don't want to leave Sri Krishna and go away. Even though Sri Krishna had given him instruction, please go away. I mean, you have to understand. When the Lord himself says these words, you have to follow them to the T. It is very important. Even in case of Sai Baba's story, it was mentioned very clearly that Sai Baba told everybody to go for their lunch. Please, all of you, leave from here and go. And there was only one lady standing over there. She was cleaning the place up. Her name was Lakshmi. So he says, Lakshmi, come here. And gives her 9 coins. 9. Gives it to her. And he dies over there. He passes on over there itself. So normally, when these kind of things happen, we have to understand how this works. So here Sri Krishna had given these clear instructions. Don't be around. But Uddhava never listened to him and he went, trying to follow Sri Krishna from behind. So verse 6 says, thus following, I saw my patron and my master sitting alone and deeply thinking, taking shelter on the banks of river Saraswati, although he is the shelter of the goddess of fortune. The Lord's, okay, here you will find Sri Krishna has gone away from Prabhasa and he has come near the Saraswati river. Saraswati river doesn't exist anymore. This is in the past. So he comes near the Saraswati river and he sits waiting for his death to come. Mara is supposed to shoot the arrow and kill him. You know that story, correct? So there he sees Sri Krishna is sitting there. Who is watching him? Uddhava is watching him. He watches Sri Krishna sitting over there, calmly discussing spiritual words which are going on between the two. That is Maitreya Muni and Sri Krishna. The Lord's body is blackish, but eternal, full of bliss and knowledge and very, very beautiful. His eyes are always peaceful and they are reddish like the rising moon, morning sun. I could immediately recognize him as Sri Krishna with his 4 hands, different symbolic representation and yellow silk garments. The Lord was sitting, taking rest against a young banyan tree with his right lotus foot on the left thigh. And although he had left all household comfort, he looked very cheerful in this posture. So here, Uddhava is watching all this scene playing in front of him. But because his master Sri Krishna has told him, don't be over here, he is watching from the sidelines. He's hidden himself somewhere and he's just watching and he's giving us the idea what is happening over there. And there he sees Sri Krishna. His body is completely black. Remember this. Sri Krishna is darkish color, black color. So he is sitting over there under the tree. This is a banyan tree. So he sits under the banyan tree. Now he sits in a very peculiar posture. You can see he is resting against the young banyan tree with his right foot, the right foot on his left thigh. So he puts his leg like this and the right foot on top of it. And he had left all the household comforts and he has left all the things back where they were. That means he is completely detached condition. He is not at all over there in a condition to indulge in any small talk, any which way. And he looked peaceful and calm and cheerful. See, when you are waiting for your death to come, you have to be in that manner. You will find that most of the people are lost in the material world. They are thinking about their kith and kin. They are thinking about their family. They are thinking about their children. They are thinking about their properties. They are thinking about have they made a will. They are thinking about their money and everything. Most importantly, they are thinking about their own body. I am dying, I am dying, I am dying, I am dying. All diseases that are there in that person. So whatever disease that they have, they are thinking, oh, why did this happen to me? These are the thoughts that are going on. Whereas a spiritual person is not at all indulging in any of these things. He is sitting quietly. So Sri Krishna, being the highest of spiritual knowledge, was sitting there peacefully, waiting for things to happen, to transcend. Everything has to happen. It has to transpire. It has to go on. So he waits there very, very peacefully. So we are doing verse 9 now, Canto 3, Chapter 4, verse 9, Srimad Bhagavatam. At that time, after traveling in many parts of the world, Maitreya, the great devotee of the Lord and a friend and a well-wisher of the great sage Krishna Dvaipayana Vyas, reached the spot out of his own perfect accord. Now at that moment in time, what happens when Sri Krishna is waiting over there? He is peacefully waiting for someone to come over there. And at that moment in time, Maitreya Muni who is never sitting in one place. He's always roaming all over the town. So basically, he is the one who comes to this place Prabhasa. To the place on the banks of the river Saraswati. He comes over there and he sees Sri Krishna sitting over there. So, and he is the one who is the friend and the well-wisher of Vedvyas. Maitreya Muni was greatly attached to the Lord and was listening to the pleasing attitude with his shoulders lowered. With a smile and a particular glance upon me, having allowed me to rest, the Lord spoke as follows. So here, Maitreya Muni, who has come over there, pays his respects and sits down in front of Sri Krishna waiting for instructions. And Sri Krishna in turn looks at Maitreya Muni, blesses him, then he knows who that person is, okay? So this is already known. So he says, and he is now going to give some instructions. So what are the instructions? So verse 11 says, O Vasu, I know you within your mind what you desired in the days of yore, when the Vasus and other demigods responsible for expanding the universal affairs became performed sacrifices. You particularly desire to achieve my association. This is very difficult to obtain for others, but I award it unto you. So Sri Krishna looks at Maitreya Muni and says, he is one of the Vasus. Please remember this, okay? One of them. So in the previous lifetime, somewhere in the past, Sri Krishna had promised him something. The association with himself. Okay? So at that moment in time, what happens is, Maitreya Muni who comes over there, Sri Krishna tells him, see, I know who you are. I know from my past association with you who you are. And because of who you are, and you had always expressed this wish that you want to be with me. You want to be one with me. And you have followed me for several lifetimes. So in all his previous life, he has not met Sri Krishna at all. So in this lifetime, when he is Maitreya Muni, Sri Krishna is sitting over there and is fulfilling his wish. Now Sri Krishna says over here, you particularly desired my association. This is very difficult for people to obtain. We always think that, it is very easy to meet Sri Krishna. No. You have to be the highest of the devotee to keep his association with Sri Krishna. It is impossible, literally, to meet Sri Krishna really in front of you. It's not easy. When you have to meet him, he is the highest of the lords. Please remember this. Every other thing comes from him only. And here he is telling Maitreya Muni, it's because of your wish as Vasu. You had asked this, so I am fulfilling your wish because I want to award you this. Verse 12 says, O honest one, your present life is the last and the supermost. Because of this term of life, you have awarded my ultimate favor. Now you can go to my transcendental abode, Vaikunt, by leaving this universe of conditioned living entities. Your visit to me in this lonely place because of your pure and unflinching devotional service is a great boon for you. Here Sri Krishna is giving us the proof of the pudding. He is telling us very clearly that you can meet him provided you have put in efforts in all your previous lifetimes. See how he is saying it. Because of this term, this particular life, I am going to give you the release. So Maitreya Muni never got release. He is the fount of knowledge. And yet in his previous lifetimes, he has never got to meet Sri Krishna. Think like that. When everybody is thinking that they can have the desire to meet God, it is not possible to do so. Unless and until you have put in a lot of efforts in your previous lifetimes, then only you are entitled and eligible for it. Otherwise, it is not easy to meet Him. See, what happens is you can meet a person, a human being. Just like Sri Krishna met all his relatives. You remember, his relatives have no idea who Krishna is. So they look upon Sri Krishna as an average, below average person. Okay, he's a normal human being. He's a mundane guy. He's so average and like that. They do not consider him as the divine consciousness himself. So here what Sri Krishna is saying is, here I am giving you the privilege of meeting me, so that after this you are never going to be born again. You will go straight to my abode. This is a very critical thing. Human beings believe that, they can just think about Krishna in this life and they are going to get some heaven. No, it doesn't work like that. So Sri Krishna is very clear in explaining over here that you have to put in efforts in every lifetime of yours. Every lifetime of yours, so that you can enjoy in this life association with Him. Are you getting it? So getting association with Sri Krishna is so very important. So then only He will grant you that. Otherwise, you are going to be reborn again and again and again. There is no point in all that. O Uddhava, in the lotus millennium, in the day of yore, at the beginning of creation, I spoke unto Brahma, who is situated in the lotus that grows out of my navel. Also my transcendental glories, which the great sages described as Srimad Bhagavatam. So here it is being mentioned how all this story, Srimad Bhagavatam, the genesis of it is not today. So when Ved Vyas was talking about it to his son, remember, Ved Vyas spoke to his son, Sukdev. Sukdev in turn was telling this to Parikshit. Parikshit in turn was listening to all this and he got his liberation, right? But Sutta Goswami is telling his disciples, and we are listening to this story again. So there is a long chain of people listening to all these things. But Sri Krishna is telling us very clearly just now something very, very strange. He is saying, I had already told about this Srimad Bhagavatam long ago. See, great sages like you, this thing was already discussed with you long ago. So think what he said over here. This is one of the secrets of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, when it was written around 3000 years ago, this is 3000 years ago, it was written because the words came into the picture, the written word came into the picture. Prior to it, it was only hearing the word, Shruti. Prior to it, before it became a Shruti, before it became a story, the story was played out. Are you getting the point or no? See, I am going backwards. Follow the storyline. Follow the storyline. Think what I am saying again. So here, Parikshit is being told this story by Sukdev. Sukdev heard it from his father. Okay. It got written during that period. After that. But hearing it was important. So Ved Vyas heard about it. Ved Vyas heard about it. Are you understanding? That is why Ved Vyas could dictate it to Ganesha. Right? And Ganesha wrote it. We know this much. How did Ved Vyas come to know about it? Now all this is being told. Let us go back to where this story started. Now, according to your thinking, the story started when Sri Krishna and the Kauravas and the Pandavas and everybody was there. Agreed? So the story gets written, isn't it? So suppose you do something today and I write it in a story form, then somebody will read it 5 years later. Isn't that how it works? But here the caveat, the beauty of the story is like this. The story happened. That means it got played out. When it got played out, it was getting played out from a script. Are you understanding? That there is a script backward somewhere. And that script was told to these Rishi Munis. By whom? By Sri Krishna himself. The secret over here is this. The secret is this. Listen to it carefully. Your story is already written. And it was narrated by Sri Krishna to the Rishi Munis. Today you are enacting it. Tomorrow it may get written. But that what is happening is getting written. The things which happened is getting written. But already the story was told in the beginning. Are you understanding this thing? It's a very, very funny way. Now let us go to Ramayana. Was Valmiki Muni in that story or no? Yeah. Was Valmiki dictating it or no? Yeah. So that means the story was already existing before Ramayana happened. Are we getting this whole thing? This is the secret about your life. You have to know this. That the future is already written. You are just enacting it like a script, like you take a script of a movie and you're just enacting it. And yet you are feeling the pain. Why is this happening to me? Why things are going bad? Why am I suffering? What is this? All the type of things that you are talking about today. The script is already bound and written. Everything is there. You are only enacting that role. When you are enacting the role, why is it that you feel that you are the person suffering? It's a role. It's a role. You are in a movie. You are an actor. And you have to emote correctly, by the way. If you get hit by a bullet, you have to do like that. Please know that. If somebody slaps you, you have to go, somebody slapped me. You have to do this acting fantastically. And you are going to feel it. But it is only a script. And this is the secret of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The Srimad Bhagavatam is a story about your life also, but you are not understanding it. So this is how it is. So he is telling, also let me read this line once again for you to grasp it. O Uddhava, in the lotus millennium, where is lotus millennium? Brahmaji lotus, remember? Creation happening. Brahmaji coming out from that stalk, remember? From his navel. That time, in the days of yore, at the beginning of creation, I spoke unto Brahma, who is situated in the lotus that grows out of my navel, about my transcendental glories which the great sages described as Srimad Bhagavatam. I had already discussed with Brahmaji, this is what is going to come about. Already stories were written. Already I'm telling you what I wanted to do is what Sri Krishna is saying to Brahmaji. So, in this whole concept of creation, where is the question of you thinking that you are some mother and brother and sister and husband and wife? You are already like Somebody, some chicken over there, you are getting created and you are dying, you are getting created, you are dying. So this is just a play, and you feel so much about it. And you believe that your life is some great, story going on. Oh my God, look at me. My father is like this, my mother is like this, my husband is like this, my wife is like this, my children are like that, the whole world is against me. I am not getting money, I am not getting power, I am not getting a good job. All these things which you are talking about is already written, is already described. Because Sri Krishna has already said, okay, this is how it's going to be. Brahmaji, just go and make it. Go. Okay. So, and all that is called Srimad Bhagavatam. Alright. So, where are we now? Okay. So, we are at verse 13. I think we can stop over here for today.
Recording stopped.